What's up, beautiful people? A little update in my life, the boring life. I do miss all the action though, Paris and Romania. It's good stuff. Little update. Yesterday I recorded a video about the beast, the computer, and I also had a long conversation with a friend about my stepbrother. So I'm going to go on record to let you people hip to some stuff about my family and how I grew up. I'm going to give you some personal info about me for you people that, really think that this is bullshit and this and, well, I'm doing this in case something happens to me. People can go back to my YouTube and actually write books or do whatever they want to with these videos. So here goes. I just came from outside and it is 7:27 a.m. in the morning. I've been up all night working on stuff. I went outside to take out the trash, and I look up, and there's a chemtrail. They flew a fucking plane directly over my house. I mean, directly. It's like, boom, a long line, and then they did another line going the other way, a little bit to the right of my house, and I looked at the wind, and the wind is just the nice little breeze is blowing back towards my house. So their plan, I guess, I don't know. I'm not being paranoid. It's just, this is my life. I have no need to make it up. Okay? So I was gonna go to sleep and I saw this and I was just like, damn. Now let me tell you what's going on in my life. Well, I have a back problem, and basically I've been trying to actually get SSI because I can't afford surgery, but it's not with my back. I actually, when I was in Paris, I had my arm broken and I have an inner cast that I need to get taken out. So also I needed medical assistance with that. Now, let me tell you what the SSI people did. They actually threw away my documentation, and it's taken me about a year. And when I went to see the judge, and he saw what was in my file, they actually threw papers away that I sent in. So the judge was shocked on that. He's checking my medical records, and he said if everything checks out that I said, he doesn't see any problem. So, every judge in Texas is a Freemason, if you don't know that. So I'm sure the Masons probably already tried to go to that judge and tell him not to give me this money, considering all the stuff that they're doing to me. So, also, what I figured out is I really strongly believe that there is some kind of like underground tunneling like facility or a big like tunnel from one end of my street to the other end of my street. And the reason why I think it's from one end of my street to the other end of my street, because on the left side of High Point you have a cop that lives on that whole corner. He has a big pool. It's a big house, and he had a lot of construction done at that house and re-renovated the pool, and it's a perfect cover to just start bringing in stuff and go down. And then there's another cop at the other end of my street, so I have two cops, they're probably watching the dope, and I'm being really serious. Now, I've talked a lot about my videos about targeted individuals, TIs. That is what I am. And I'll get into that in this video. because I'm just gonna get back into, you know, the real things, because I'm just really getting sick of this shit. I'm gonna really speak my mind, and some people are gonna be like, "Whoa," but it's the truth. So, what you need to understand is, I believe that they dug underground, and you can access them from probably those two cop houses. And I would probably think they're probably growing weed or dope or something, you know? And why do I think this? Well, because my stepbrother is a hitman. My stepbrother is a cop. My stepbrother is an ex-Marine and Black Ops, very highly well-trained. And here's the Kepper, people. My stepbrother, who is all that, has a twin brother that works for the city. And you know what his twin brother does? Works for the city? He works on streets. Yeah, that is his job. To go up under the city and to do all that shit with the streets. Yeah, my stepbrother that is a cop has a fucking twin brother. Correga Jackson, fuck you. They call him Officer Cliff. So there's two of them. Isn't that a perfect cover? I don't have to make this shit up. It's my life. So let me also tell you about my stepbrother Cliff. He is a dirty, 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 dirty pig. And no one will do anything or touch him. Let me tell you why. Because he protects that faggot Puff Daddy, and he trains Puff Daddy's security, and he also does all the security for all the black entertainers that come to Houston, and for the concerts, and all the cops that want to make money off the clock, and, you know, do security for the superstars and shit. My stepbrother Cliff handles that. So let me explain to you about what they did to me today, because actually I am in the process of starting a new business, and I actually came clean about a lot of things that happened to me in Romania and in Paris with my business partner, and I've actually created this incredible business that's going to help a lot of people. And I've been working really hard on doing that business plan. But basically, today, at 7 o'clock tonight, I have to go get an MRI on my back because I have a slip disc and some other things wrong with my back. It's a Scotty dog where my hip bone is fused with my hip bone and backbone, spine, you know, on one side. So I'm gonna go get an MRI tonight at 7 o'clock. And, you know, chemtrails over my house. Right over my house today to, you know, go into my air conditioned unit, go into the air that I breathe when I sleep. Because I was gonna get some sleep, but I don't think I'm gonna sleep now, you know. So I get dosed with chemtrails, aluminium, all of that toxic shit, and then I go get an MRI, and then the MRI blasts me with fucking microwaves, like boom, you know? That's really how you can get cancer and other sicknesses and make them rapidly grow. So by having a chemtrail over my house, like directly over my house today, and the specific things that have been taking place, and I'm going to get an MRI today, which is super highly radioactive, I don't believe in coincidences, people. So let's get back to my stepbrother, the killer drug dealer pig, that I'm making videos about on YouTube, and, you know, all his buddies fucking know. I don't give a fuck. I hate him, you know? I went and lived in Europe for 8 years to get away from his shit. But I've made videos and I talked about this before. I'm going to talk about it again, okay? Now, if you notice, I said my stepbrother is a cop and he does security for Puffy. Now, who shot Biggie Smalls? 6'2" black guy. Guess what happened the week that Puffy was shot? Actually, it was like two weeks. He just disappeared, my stepbrother, you know? He says, oh, he was giving Puffy support, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I don't really think so. At this time, my stepbrother was living out at the cliffs. This is where I suspect he probably threw the weapon. That's where they throw a lot of things. If you don't know about the Katy Cliffs and you don't know the stories about the Katy Cliffs, well, let me tell you about the Katy Cliffs and why they call my stepbrother Officer Cliff. Because he's a hitman, and when hitmen make hits, they need a place to get rid of their shit. Well, the Katy Cliffs was perfect to do that. And actually, in the 90s, the cops were finding so many bodies of young women and young girls out there. I think it was like the seventh or eighth one or something, that the cops actually came in and shut that plot of land down and took and like confiscated it. So no one can go there unless you're like government or a cop. Isn't that perfect, Cliff? So my stepbrother buys a big ass house out in Katy, Texas, and I'm like, how is this motherfucker can afford this big ass house on his salary? And that's when I automatically started to think, he's fucking dirty. You know? So, not to mention his wife, well, he's had like, I think like 2 or 3. His first wife left him 3 months after Biggie's shooting. Okay? So this is what I do know. And I do know his police sergeant was calling my fucking house like every day looking for him for almost 3 weeks after Biggie was shot. And he is a cop. And we all know it was a professional hit at Biggie Smalls. So wouldn't it make sense for Puffy to kill off his own guy? Because the rumor was that Biggie was going to start his own label and get out from under Puffy. That's just the thing to do when you're Jamaican. That's what Jamaicans do. They run things, you know? So Puffy wasn't going to have that. And so Biggie became worth more to Puffy dead than alive. So what, like 2-3 years after Biggie's death, Puff Daddy releases the hits. Get it? So one thing that I've never revealed, that I actually revealed to my friends, so I'm going to reveal it to the public, just so I can put it out there. My stepbrother, you know, Mark Jackson, I don't give a fuck, I'll say his name, he went to jail for shooting somebody. My stepfamily are a bunch of fucking thugs. Now, Jam Master Jay was shot and killed, okay? And you people out there in the hip-hop world, and you people researchers and this and this and this, research what I say, please, so you can honestly understand that I'm really telling the truth and kicking some real, like, new shit, and I have been since I left to go to Romania and I lived there for 8 years as a refugee, and I couldn't get asylum because the war in Iraq. The American relations with Romania were too tight. But I lived in Romania without a visa. 8 years. So, anyways, here's how it goes. The story of Kenneth Jackson, that's his real name, he went to Spring Forest. And for all you researchers and for all you people that really hate 50 Cent and really want to like look and, you know, look for a Kenneth Jackson at Spring Forest, I think it was in the 80s. And if you can find him, boom, he was there for like 2 years. So anyway, after Kenneth, who was actually a black disciple of B.D., narked out a black disciple meeting between the Vietnamese faction, the Bad Boys, the original Vietnamese guys, not the bullshit record that Puffy stole it from. Oh yeah, and not to mention that Cliff was on the federal bad boy hit squad. He was on the Asian Gangster Task Force, and he was actually one of the cops that went in and killed a lot of the Asians. Oops, did I say that? Yeah, Cliff. So anyways, he was on the bad boy hit squad. So that's how, Puff Daddy got the whole bad boy, because actually bad boy is actually a gangster fucking tag that they used to spray paint on the walls in their area, and cops couldn't go in those areas because cops would get shot. So anyway, the feds, my stepbrother Cliff, took one of their things that they used to spray paint after they went in and shot up a few of their houses, took it, made a sticker out of it, and put it on the back of their cars, and drove blacked out Impalas with the bad boy sticker before I guess Cliff gave it to Puff Daddy. So, some real gangster shit. So, back to Kenneth narked out a BD meeting, okay? Now, I want you to understand some specific things in hip-hop, and if you really know hip-hop and you really know hip-hop beef, you'll really understand what I'm really talking about. Now, Kenneth narked out the meeting, got a lot of people killed. The federal bad boy hit squad that my stepbrother was on went in and they killed a lot of people. Guess whose nephew got killed, people? Have you heard of Mr. Scarface? Have you heard of the Ghetto Boys? Scarface don't talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it. Because, I mean, if I don't talk about it, who going to talk about it? It's my family, And I don't have shit to do with it, but they pulled me in the middle of this shit, and now they trying to kill me like a silent kill, This is what it's called. That's why they targeted individual. It's called public policing. My stepbrother's a fucking cop. It's called silent weapons for silent wars, okay? Because everybody wants to be quiet about this shit except for me. Because they steady blasting me with microwave weapons and trying to make me sick and just trying to keep me like literally without nothing, and I didn't do anything. Nothing. But try to make music and entertain people and do my thing, and these motherfuckers are always killing and deceiving and doing all their other shit. So, excuse me about the rant. Back to Kenneth Jackson. Kenneth Jackson is the cousin of, my step family, Mark Jackson, Correga Jackson, Officer Cliff Jackson, whatever you want to call them. Jacksons, okay? So Kenneth Jackson knocked out the meeting and got Scarface's cousin killed. Yeah. So then Kenneth Jackson had to get relocated. He had to get a new name and move the fuck away from Texas. Guess where this narc moved? Can anybody guess? New York. Now you see where I'm getting at? So then, all of a sudden, a few years go by and everybody kind of forgets about that face. Kenneth just disappeared because Mr. Scarface want the motherfucker dead. He paid some money. How did the cops know where the meeting was? Blah, 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 blah. Actually, they were feds. So Cliff, I don't give a fuck, You want to put me in this shit? You want to target me? Whatever. I'm going to let the Asians and Mr. Scarface and everybody know how this shit really goes down and how fucking pathetic you clowns are. So then we're in New York, and guess who meets this, oh, I want to be a rapper kid at McDonald's? Jam Master Jay. So Jam Master Jay is a hip hop legend, built hip hop from nothing, was the first actually really legendary hip hop producer with Run DMC, Beastie Boys. I mean, that's Jam Master Jay, people. I mean, he took the little white boys, the Jewish boys, to another level. He put them up there. At the same time, he did that with his brothers, too. And actually, they're family, related, to them. So, he knew how to promote, ground up and everything. And all of a sudden, this narc is pushed up under him. This was all planned, people. Like I said, understand, Kenneth Jackson was a narc from here, got Scarface's cousin killed a rapper. Scarface gets bigger and better and sits at the head of Def Jam South, controlling all of Def Jam's promotions and distribution in the South. And then Russell Simmons steps down because the shit just got too gangsterish for him. And then Def Jam develops the Def Jam Roundtable, which is devised of multiple well-known artists, but from different areas of America. Because they actually know what's going on in their part of the country and who not to sign and who did what and who's the fucking narcs, basically. So Jam Master Jay takes this fucking narc, Kenneth Jackson, teaches him how to rap, teaches him the streets, teaches him street promotion. And supposedly, Kenneth Jackson had some beef and everybody didn't think he was hard. And so he popped $150. Yeah, Kenneth Jackson popped $150. This is hip hop. Everybody knows this. You play this shit to KRS-One. KRS-One will probably sit back and be like, damn. So he shot $150, and then guess who's born because he wants to, make everybody think he's really hard? 50 Cent. That's where he got his name from. $150, 50 Cent. So 50 Cent is Kenneth Jackson. Changed his name to Kelvin Jackson. And so, Jam Master Jay promised him he would get a Def Jam contract. So, they've been listening to this kid. Everybody was feeling him. He did the street promotions. Jam Master Jay, it's Jam Master Jay, He's New York hip-hop at this time. He's still the man. So, everybody been listening to Kenneth Jackson, 50 Cent on the underground with the mixtapes. So everybody want to meet him, bring him in, want to see the kid. So on the day when this big meeting's supposed to happen and he's supposed to get signed, guess what happens, people? And you can go to Scarface, you can talk to anybody that knows anybody in Def Jam, talk to anybody that knows anybody in the hip-hop world. They know this went down like this. So here comes Kenneth Jackson to sit and meet the Def Jam Roundtable. All the guys at the Def Jam Roundtable. Guess who's sitting at the Def Jam Roundtable in New York? Scarface. Guess who remembers Kelvin Jackson's real name, Kenneth? Guess who he's been looking for a long time? Kenneth. He jumps over the table and starts beating the shit out the dude. He He's pretty big, but Scarface big too. Everybody wonder what the fuck was that about, blah, 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 blah. They pulled Face off. 50 ran out. He knew the gig was up. He a nerd. So guess what? This is when he put out the mixtape. Oh, I'll jack you. If I was this person, I'd do this. Talking about what he would do to, you know. And then here comes the Great White Hope. Give him $1 million fucking dollars. Eminem. $1 million. Guess where Eminem's from? Detroit. Guess where Cliff's from? Detroit. Officer Cliff, you know, the hit, the Fed, from fucking Detroit. Guess where my stepfather's from? Detroit. So here comes this white boy from Detroit and get his fucking narc motherfucker $1 million on his first contract? Huh? That's a hit. That was hit money. Okay? 50 Cent got $1 million to kill Jam Master Jay. That's why when they signed this motherfucker, he had to ride around in a bomb-proof Hummer. Where you get a bomb-proof Hummer? You don't get a bomb-proof Hummer from the normal Hummer dealerships. You get a bomb-proof Hummer from the government. So already, I mean, that's proof. And he walked around rapping about, I'm driving around in a bomb-proof Hummer. That's telling people, don't try to blow up my shit. Because on the underground, everybody knows. That's why when 50 Cent did his first concert in Texas, he canceled it. He didn't even step on stage. Because he would have got popped by Face's boys. I'm being real, because don't nobody want to really talk about this shit. So Jam Master Jay gets killed. Kenneth Jackson gets signed $1 million. Gets $1 million from a motherfucker from Detroit, the same town as his cousins, my stepbrother, the fucking hitman that killed Biggie for Puffy. So one thing that I want you people to understand is this. When Puffy, Fag Daddy, does business, they got a plan, man. They're all dirty. You understand what I'm saying? They're all just dirty, dirty, dirty niggas. And I do mean niggas, you know? I mean and I can say this shit because what? I'm Afro-American. I ain't no nigga though. Those motherfuckers are niggas. And ignorant motherfuckers. That's what it means. So, I want you to understand that Cliff, my other stepbrother, Mark Jackson, and Kenneth Jackson all went in on the Jam Master Jay hit. Now, let me explain it to you. I've explained it to you in earlier videos, but I just, you know, it's an update. I'm going to be nice and thorough, okay? So the story is there were 3 assailants in hoodies. Now, the fact is, the studio had a code. You can't just walk in there. There were people in the studio when this happened. That still to this day, I gotta tell you motherfuckers at Def Jam, y'all are a bunch of bitches. Still to this day, they don't talk. They were there, they saw what happened. How you gonna, you know, let Jam Master Jay, like, go out like that and be in the studios and it's full and people working and y'all saw who went in and saw who went out. The only thing that makes any sense to me is everybody know Cliff. Everybody know what Cliff does for Puffy. Nobody says anything, but they know what he does. They're afraid of him. I ain't afraid of him. Fuck him. He can come in this house right now and shoot off his gun again. Because he has before. So anyway, so it was Cliff, Mark, and Kenneth that went in and killed Jam Master Jay. Now, let me tell you how Cliff gets rid of his money. See, my stepfather started the Shrine of the Black Madonna in Detroit and here in Houston, Texas. It's a non-exempt so-called black church where they have Afro-Americans come and live on the property and they say they're helping them. It's a joke. I've talked to the brothers that live there. It's so messy there. Even the brother told me there's something just ain't right about the place. Well, they started the place to launder money. That's pretty easy to figure out. So that's how Cliff cleans his money, through the Shrine of the Black Madonna. So after Cliff gets paid, you know, after his hits and shit, that's how he does it. So the only thing that makes any sense to me when Jam Master Jay died was this. Cliff and Kenneth showed their faces, probably threatened everybody if they talked, they'd be back for him. Cliff probably revealed some shit that he killed Biggie to, and probably told him what they really did. And probably told him they're over CIA, they whatever, Illuminati, Freemasons, NWO music business. That's what they are. And so, you know, Cliff probably said, we can get to Jay, motherfuckers, we can get to you. Who the fuck are you, you, and you? And they just killed Jam Master Jay, you know? So everybody that was in the Def Jam studio didn't talk because, what? It ain't cool to narc? It ain't cool to talk? Pfft, nigga, please. If the shit don't involve me, and you want to bring this shit in my home, and it's directly going to affect me and my family because you are a killer and a drug dealer and a dirty, pathetic cop and you love killing people, and you laundering money through your church, and you got your dirty ass fucking stepdaddy married to my fucking mom, and I'm trying to do my thing and trying to be legit, but you're going to hold me down because I'm going up and up and up, and you don't want to draw attention, or you don't want me to draw attention to my family because you dirty as shit? It's simple as this. Because me and my friends do high-level, high-end parties. I'm a fucking good DJ. And I was starting to bring a little bit too much attention and get a little bit too much fame for Cliff. Because he a hitman. Dirty cop, drug dealer, got houses all over Houston. And when I mean houses, drug houses. He's a fucking killer. So anyway, so that's what I suspect they, you know, said to everybody in the studio, and they still don't talk to this day. So that's Biggie and Jam Master Jay. And you want to know the most condemning evidence that I do know about Jam Master Jay? This is how stupid my stepfamily is. They're all in the music business. They're all the pathetic Jacksons that never really amounted to anything. Granted that my stepfather just, you know, he used to beat women, and he was married about 3 times and has a shitload of kids. None of them were ever as talented as his, you know, brother Joe. But nevertheless, never stopped him from having a shitload of kids and still trying to recreate another Jackson family. So, understand this. Just dirty, dirty, dirty fucking pigs. So after Jam Master Jay got killed 3 weeks later, my stepbrother Mark comes over to my house. He asked me if I know about this specific drum machine. It's real old school. It was like one of the first drum machines. It's from back in the day. I think it was like, I don't know, like 6, 8 tracks, something like that. I don't remember, but it was like it ran on batteries. And he came over and asked me if I had an adapter, if I knew how to work it, if I knew anything about it, blah, 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 blah. I had heard about those beat machines, but I'd never seen one, you know? And I was looking at it, and I pressed play, and I heard the beat, and I'm like, damn, that's fat. And he's like, oh, yeah, I was working on that. That's one of my beats. I just, I do beats all the time. That's my, shit that I keep quiet about, blah, 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 blah. The beat sounded like a Jam Master Jay Run DMC unreleased beat. Hands down. It had that old school, like, dirty, gritty, fucking, a little bit of rock, but hip hop, just that Jam Master Jay shit. And I asked him, do you have any others on there? And he pushed the other button. Same thing. Then I pushed the button again to go to another pre-recorded sequence. Same shit. I'm just like, when are you going to release it? I was like, Mark, you're going to blow up. I was like, dude, that's the shit. That's like that old school shit that, people don't make that shit anymore. He's like, yeah. He got kind of nervous. And at the time, I didn't realize it. But as time goes back, I look back on that and I'm like, oh, that was Jam Master Jay's fucking beat machine that this motherfucker grabbed from the studio after they killed him. It's like that. So then after I started putting 2 and 2 together, this was roughly about 9 years ago, people. And I started to write about it, and I started to ask around in the Houston scene about my stepbrother and what he did to the other producers that have actually known him longer than me and know really about like that side of hip hop. I learned so much, and I learned like my friend who's a big hip hop producer who worked on Beyonce's sister's album and actually worked on Destiny Child's first album. He told me when I started asking about my stepbrother, he just looked at me, he said he dirty. I said, what do you mean? He's like, dude, he's dirty. Dirty cop. I was like, really? He said, yeesh. He shook his head, and that's all he said. And to this day, how he looked at me, and I was just like, damn. I'll never forget that to this day. So then once I figured out what was actually going on and started to look into it and realized, okay, and then Cliff started to watch me, I released a bulk email to all my friends. I emailed the Romanian consulate about what he did, everything, and the Romanian consulate emails me back and they said, we can't do anything for you until you come to this country. Kind of like where Snowden was, or is right now. But I went this route. So then, a day later, Cliff, my stepsister, and my stepbrother all come over, talking shit, really loud, and Cliff shoots off a gun in the house. I packed my bags, packed a bag of records, and to that day for like 8 years, I didn't come back to Houston. I hit the road, borrowed $100 from a friend, went to California, lived on the streets in California, got a job finally after like 7, 8 months living on the street in California. saved up enough money, worked really hard, and got a ticket to Romania, but not before the cops ran my ID, and then a day later found me on the street, picked me up off the street in Mendocino, and beat the shit out of me for no reason. I wake up unconscious in a cement room with basically a plastic vest over my chest, and no pants, no underwear, no nothing, after the cops beat the shit out of me in handcuffs and feet cuffs. So if it was not for a Hebrew doctor listening to my story and calling the Romanian consulate and asking them if I was legit and he really believed me, and he got another Hebrew lawyer involved in Mendocino, I would probably be dead. Now, in Mendocino, I was supposed to die. I was supposed to disappear. Because in Mendocino, let me tell you something about Mendocino. Mendocino is run by the Bushes. Walker Bush was the head prosecuting attorney in Mendocino in the 70s and early 80s. He was the one that locked all the hippies up and stole their land, and they died in jail under strange circumstances. And they buried them right across the street from the Mendocino jail. There's a cemetery. And the thing that separates the Mendocino jail from the cemetery is Walker Bush Street. So their plan was to find me, beat the shit out of me, and have me disappear and probably die in jail. So, I went through that, got to Romania, and after, about 3-4 years after I got relaxed, I got a nice girlfriend, started working at the top level of as a DJ for Fashion TV there, which that's ran by the female cartel, drug dealer motherfuckers, all the whole industry is, which I learned the hard way about that. My girlfriend comes up missing. She gets taken by the female cartel. They basically do some shit and her body gets found in Russia. I found that out because my best friend there, his father was Russian Secret Service for like 20 years. The producer that I worked with was a drug dealer and a pimp, basically. And making music and acting like he made music was just his cover and his way of laundering money. He stole several tracks that I helped produce from me. One of the tracks was a #1 track called Beautiful Day. I was actually the creative director for that track. And he goes and registers that track as his. And it wasn't his. And when he released it, 3 weeks later, he's driving around in a brand new VW. And me and my girlfriend are sleeping in the studio on the floor. Granted, it was in a big house, but my studio was my bedroom in the basement of a huge house that is about a 2-minute walk from the presidential palace. So rather than give me my money, I guess Cliff or NWO, some other motherfuckers come down, see that me and this guy have a beef, and, pays this guy a little bit of money to take my girl. It took 2 years to find out what happened to her, to retrace his steps, because he was in Russia the weekend where they found a girl that was a dancer of his that he took. Probably raped her, threatened her, said she was a dancer, took her to Russia, and killed her. There was a mutilated body found in Russia without any identifying marks that fit the description of the girl that he came in with, and he left, went back across the Russian-Romanian border without the girl. He was held for like 5 days. So this is my life. This is my story. So this is what they do to me. I sleep in my home every night where they blast me with microwave weapons. The other night I'm sleeping and it felt like I almost like literally had a heart attack. Whenever I sleep, the ground is consistently vibrating. I looked into microwave weapons. It's actually really cheap to buy these machines. To buy the whole thing, it's about 350 bucks. Okay? 350 bucks with a remote control. And it has a satellite, and you just point and aim, and you can probably encode it for specific auras or brain waves or whatever, and amplify the Wi-Fi, because it's not that technical, but I really don't feel like getting into it right now. And then the police do use this. It is something that the police do use in secret. It's called targeted individuals, and you can look it up online under public policing. It is very real. Let me say it again. Public policing. So what the cops do is they come in, they tell the neighbors a bunch of lies about you, and they even pay the neighbors to watch you or maybe run these machines on you. Who knows? It is called public policing on targeted individuals. So this is what my stepbrother, the fucking killer drug dealer pig, is doing. So what I suspect is he probably anticipated that I would come back home after I was attacked in Paris and had my arm broken, because I'm homeless. I can't do anything. I was having problems in Paris filing for asylum. In actuality, I was attacked. I think it was like 4 days before I had to have my asylum meeting at the Refugee Council, whatever. I've been waiting like almost a year to have this meeting in Paris. And I get attacked and I'm in the hospital the day of the meeting. Yeah, coincidence, right? Just like there's a coincidence that the chemtrails just flew over my house today and I have x-rays and MRI tonight, right? Yeah. So, what I want you to understand is this. My stepbrother, NWO, what the fuck ever, are spending money paying people to fly right over my home chemtrail on the day that I'm supposed to have x-rays. Let me tell you something about chemtrails and x-rays. Chemtrails have aluminum, nanotechnology, all kinds of shit in it. They can do whatever, and they spray that shit over your home. Then when you get blasted with x-rays, guess what the x-ray does? It's kind of like the Incredible Hulk, but we're not the Incredible Hulk. When you get blasted with x-rays and you have that shit in your system, it triggers these things and it causes them to accelerate in growth, accelerated disease and sickness. So do I think it's a coincidence that they, have two fucking lines of chemtrails, like one diagonally and one horizontally, right over my fucking house this morning? When they, they know my sleeping patterns, because they always seem to turn it on high blast when I sleep. I used to sleep in a bed. I took the bed out because the bed was vibrating so much. I sleep on the floor, and the floor, it's still the same shit with the floor. So what I suspect they did, or what Cliff has done, because he's a drug dealer pig with government, high-level government clearance. Now, have any of you heard about those Mexicans that dig those tunnels from the fucking one house all the way under the border to another house? Drug dealers were busted with that shit, you know? And having these houses filled with coke and money and the tunnels filled with drugs and shit, you know? This is legendary in Texas. So what I suspect is Cliff got a cop to the right in that house, and he lives alone. That's to the right side of my house, down at the end of the street. Like right on the street, okay? And then the other cop that lives in the big house with the fucking pool on the other end of the street, he dirty living like that on a cop salary. So, what I suspect is they dug a tunnel from one cop's house to the other cop's house, and they probably have weed growing up under there. But it's like killing two birds with one stone. Cliff said, we gonna do this, you know? And then they bring in the little microwave weapon and set it up like under the area of the tunnel that's under my house. It's not that hard to see somebody in a house with infrared, or actually you can actually see people, their aura and their body energy through Wi-Fi. Because what our aura does is it actually disrupts the Wi-Fi, because the Wi-Fi is like a microwave, okay? I've been trying to tell, or trying to get Wi-Fi out of the house, but it's contracted. More bullshit. So, this is where I'm at. This is why I'm making the video. And, you know, I told my new business partner, you know, all about my family. I told him if anything happened to me, this is why. I mean, the other night, you know, I fucking had a heart attack waking up and my arms are hurting and my head's hurting and the floor is like, it's like these vibrational jolts going through my fucking body. Shit hurts. Literally. I cannot put it into words what these motherfuckers are doing to me right now. When I sleep, when I'm working, it's always on. And they turn it low, then they turn it high. It's always on. And then when I leave the house, sit in the car, it's fine. So I know it's something up under my home. And what I suspect is he's a drug dealer, dirty fucking cop. We in Texas. They probably dug a fucking tunnel like these fucking Mexicans growing weed because there's fucking drug dealers that live behind me, you know? And then when you know, say my family members die, there's going to be a huge dispute about this house, you know, and then Cliff and his family probably going to come and take it, and then they running the whole drug business, and then Cliff is the man, right? But hey, Cliff, did you plan on this, you stupid fucking pig? So, anyway, they do all of this to me and for me. They spend all this money and time and people's efforts for me. Well, I got something to tell Cliff, Mark, the motherfuckers that took my girl, motherfuckers that paid them to do it, all the fucking gang stalkers, NWO, Nazi, Luciferian, pedophile, coke dealing motherfuckers. If you want to kill me, you want me dead, I think you can pay like what? Like, I think it's like $5 grand, maybe like 10 for a mercenary from Moldova. And they're ruthless. And they're cheap. You probably have to pay his plane ticket. 10 grand. I know that's a lot less than what you spent on this whole fucking outfit. I know that chemtrail shit ain't free. To fly that plane ain't free. To pay somebody to watch and control the machine ain't free. To pay this whole operation just to kill me and gang stalk me and to give me cancer so I'll look like I died, like I'm cancer and I'm a soft kill and I get killed naturally so nobody can just all say a thing, but oh, he was just crazy, bro, he had cancer. That costs money. So why don't you do yourself a favor and be a man, because y'all a bunch of bitches. That's right, you're a bunch of bitches, every single one of you. Pathetic. Because I don't have to fucking lift a finger and you motherfuckers running around in circles trying to get rid of me. So why don't you just pay a Moldova mercenary, you know, have him just fucking, what? You come to my window. You know where I sleep. And I'm gone. Take that money that you're spending trying to kill me and feed some fucking starving kids. Do something good, you fucking pathetic, evil ass fucking bastards. Because the fact is, what did I do? Because when I stand before God, because I will stand before God one day, I'm going to say, this is what I did. This is what I did. You want to know what I did? I did this. And what did you do? You killed for money. You killed for a bunch of rapists, pedophiles, satanic, Luciferian motherfuckers. Cliff and his stepbrother work for Puff Daddy, who's a fucking bisexual. And if you're going to get on his label, and if you a dude, you got to give up the ass. If you a hot chick about to blow up, he don't give a fuck about you. Look at Cassie. 50 Cent is only alive because 50 Cent went to the Zulu Nation. Sorry, I got no respect for the Zulu Nation because of this. He killed Jam Master fucking Jay, and 50 Cent give a shitload of his proceeds to the Zulu Nation? Like money is gonna make that up? And because the Zulu Nation is notorious for squashing beef between, what, gangsters? Gangs? He ain't no gangster, he's a fucking narc. He's a fucking bullshit rapper. So what the Zulu Nation did is they made a fucking deal of convenience with the fucking devil. Bottom line. To still let that motherfucker live after all the shit that he done? For what? What did those people ever do to him? What did I do to any of these people other than try to tell people what they really done? Because I don't like this shit in my family. And then they don't want people looking at me. They don't want me drawing attention to my family because of what they do. They don't want me to blow up and do big parties. And they have to fucking come and take my girl when I get up on the top of the European music scene. They have to fucking come take my girl and kill her, and then I have to go back underground and back to war with these motherfuckers? After I turn the other cheek. This is my life. No need to lie. Peace. And fuck you, Nazi beast. Honestly, that's how it is. Shit. Oh. And by the way, I'm a producer, I'm a junglist, and a turntablist. Let me leave you with this. Stupid fucking pigs like bullshit Cliff dealing drugs, thinking he's a thug, working for fucking faggots like Puff Daddy and that bullshit is wicked. Fucking Freemason, 666 Luciferian, sign your name on the dotted line, my friends. You fucking devil this, devil that again and again, same old bullshit, and you don't want to fucking hear it. But when I get my fucking money and get my studio and sit back and make my beats, yo, ain't nobody gonna be able to say shit. Fuck you, 50 Cent, you fucking narc bitch. I'll make fucking 50 songs about you and tell the truth about what you did. And if you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. I'll give it away for free just like that because I don't work for no fucking Nazis. Like Bob Marley said, Rasta don't work for no CIA. You're gonna hear me today, motherfuckers. I used to sit on the streets for hours at a time talking like this, dropping rhymes on a fucking dime, talking about the real shit and what really goes down. And everybody's like, damn, he really rapping, man, and he really talking about some real hip-hop shit. These motherfuckers are really killing, and this is what they doing to this kid? And they want to continue to fuck with me and stalk me and keep me without any money and even fuck with me online. I ain't lying. No need to lie. But who am I? What did I do to you, you fools? What, I can rap, I got skills, I can make beats, I can fucking do a nice little line that kills. I don't need to sell out my fucking soul for a bullshit deal. You don't like it, there ain't nothing you can do about it because when I go and when I stand in front of God, yo, this is what I did with my life. This is what I recorded. This is what I do. This is what I put out into the universe, you motherfucking fools. Cliff, Kenneth, Mark, Kelvin, whatever your name is, may you rot in hell, my friends. You may pay billions of dollars to get people to worship you every fucking day. But like I said, thou shalt not worship false idols. You ain't God, motherfuckers. Only person that can judge me like no other is him. Love. That's what God is. Jah. Yahweh. It's Yahweh and a highway. You hear what I fucking say? So I'm going to leave you with a nice little lyrical fucking tongue twister imperfection like you never hear this again and again and again. And like I do it like this, my friends. I have no need to lie. How did I get people's attention and how did I stay alive on the streets? Because when a fucking pig would come up to me, I would say, hey pig, you know who I am, you fucking pig? Officer Cliff's stepbrother. You know what he did? He shot Biggie and fucking Jam Master Jay with Kenneth Jackson. That's 50 Cent. What? Did you hear what I say? The pigs would just walk away. In Texas. So, that's how I stayed alive because, hey, I have no need to lie. When I can rap about it and sitting on the streets passing time, hours and hours, and I feel like rapping because I'm bored, gotta keep up my skills because I don't want to go out like those bullshit bitches and whores. I'm a bit explicit, but hey, I want you to feel it. I want you to get offended. I want you to hear this. This is how it is. Real rappers, these dappers ain't talking about shit. They talking about bling bling and this and disrespecting women. Excuse me, but when I say a bitch is a bitch, I ain't talking about a woman. I'm talking about them because the shit they doing to me and the shit that they've always done to me is some bitch shit, my friend. And so after listening to this, now you're hearing it. Peace. Fuck the Illuminati.